Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Erin James, the channel that brings you all your latest Rangers news. Guys, it's the international break. It's boring. It is bloody boring. You know what? The club news, obviously, is still on the ground because of the fact that there's not a lot going on, because of the fact that we have an international break. And I don't know about you, but why have we got three? Yes, that's right. 3 international breaks before Christmas. 3 of them. I mean, that's just a joke. It really genuinely is. The UEFA Nations League. For UEFA Nations League, read pointless money-making activity for UEFA. That's what all it is. Absolute waste of time. Absolute waste of time. Unless it's a World Cup qualifier or a Euro qualifier, I genuinely think we shouldn't even be bothering. You know what? We should ban friendlies because they're pointless. Ban the Nations League because it's just shit. I mean, you've just got to look at some of the games that have been ongoing over the last few days. I mean, Gibraltar, San Marino. Who gives a flying fuck? I mean, there's probably less people live in Gibraltar and San Marino combined than live in Govan. I mean, that's how small those 2 countries are. I mean, it's just not even worth it, is it? I mean, it's an absolute joke. It really genuinely is. On the concept of absolute jokes, Scotland did lose 2-1 last night to Croatia in Zagreb. Scotland took the lead through Ryan Christie before Matanovic and Kramaric scored for Croatia to give Croatia the 2-1 victory. But why am I mentioning Scotland? Well, some good news, kind of, for Rangers is that John Souttar started for Rangers last. It's not for Rangers. Wish he had started for Rangers. Wish there had been a Rangers game. He started for Scotland last night alongside Grant Hanley. Played well by all accounts. Had a chance to actually draw Scotland level, but couldn't quite reach it apparently. But decent effort from John Souttar last night. Nice to see him getting involved. Nice to see him getting under the cap. Obviously, there was a lot of talk, wasn't there, after the last international break when John wasn't used, that maybe John would retire from international football because he was pretty much fed up of going along and being Steve Clarke's drinks carrier. Obviously, the weight of carrying all those whiskey bottles was quite heavy for him. Although Scotland really do need to call into question now their manager, don't they? Was it 1 win in 15? I mean, Gareth Southgate went after the Euro 2024 when England qualified and got through to the final playing shit football, but they still got to the final. Yeah. Scotland have retained a manager that's failed spectacularly. I don't get it. I personally don't get it. In other news, Romania won 3-0 away in Cyprus, which is nice. I mean, let's face it, nice little holiday out to Cyprus there. I'm sure it's still quite warm at this time of the year. Man scored. The man. I love that. The man scored. The man. I want to sign him just so we can say we've got the man playing for Rangers. Marin and Dragushin of Tottenham scored the other 2 goals. Yanis Hadji was a substitute, came on and rated 4.4 out of 5 in a lot of the ratings, the Google ratings, the FootMob ratings, and the SofaScore ratings. Played well when he came on, looking like another quality international performance from Yanis Hadji. The player who, according to a lot of our fans, is pish. I do genuinely worry about the knowledge of some people. But yeah, Yanis was good. Love that name. Czechia and Albania. Czechia and Albania played. So, of course, that meant Nadim Bayrami versus the man himself versus Václav Černý. They swapped shirts. There we go. There's a picture of the boys, the Rangers boys. Bayrami with Černý shirt and Černý with Bayrami shirt, just in case you forgot which one's which, although I doubt you would, because one's got a baldy head and one hasn't. But yeah, apparently it was a win for Czechia. Czechia won the game. Free shit in the second half by all accounts. The Czechia media, it sounds a bit of a joke, doesn't it? Yeah, so the Czechia media criticised him widely in the for his second half display, calling it disappointing, below the level expected for such a player. So you got a bit of a shoe-in from the Czechia media, kind of building on top of what we've seen for Rangers this year, where he has been pretty poor, to be honest with you. I mean, I know he scored the 2 goals against St Johnstone, but we do have to remember it was St Johnstone. I think most pub teams in England could probably give St Johnstone a decent game. I think I probably could pick 11 fans out of the stand who'd give St Johnstone a decent game, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, so a win for Czechia. Bayrami played well for Albania, as always, playing from the left. Didn't play in the 10 role, played from the left. Maybe that's where we do need to use him going forward. So interesting nonetheless. The Scotland game, the Romania game, and that other game, obviously other games coming up over the rest of this week. Yes, more pointless international Nations League games. Yes, more pointless attempts by UEFA to make even more money for their fat cats. Right, so let's move it on. Let's talk a bit of Rangers, shall we? So the other day, we talked about Lyall Cameron and what he's had to say as regards interview. Now, one of the interesting things I pulled out of Lyall's interview was the fact that he kind of said that, under no circumstances were we prepared to close the door on Scottish talent, which is good to see, considering that one of our best signings this summer was Connor Barron, who is a Scottish under-21 international, Scottish player, Scottish born and bred, understands the league, understands the competition, understands the rivalry between Rangers and Celtic, and Rangers and Aberdeen to some degree as well. Aberdeen and Rangers, there's not much rivalry the other way, is there? I mean, we couldn't give a shit about the sheep, but there you go. But, he gets it. He gets it. And he's been one of our better players. And the energy he showed, the passion he showed, the way he's played has been absolutely fantastic. And I thought, Connor, he came on against St Johnstone, did very well in the second half. Yes, it was only St Johnstone. But, beyond St Johnstone, he has done very well indeed. Now, I think it's great that Lyall Cameron has kind of said that, we're not closing the door on Scottish talent. There is, a number of young Scottish players coming through, I think, that Rangers could do as well to take a look at. I think there's, three that stand out for me. And I think obviously two of them are more realistic than the third. Now, I think with one of them, we've certainly very much missed out. I think had we moved for him in the summer, we probably would have stood a great deal better opportunity of getting hold of him. And that's Lennon Miller. Lennon Miller has been absolutely fantastic for Motherwell this season. And Motherwell, I think, currently sits, is it fourth? I think they currently sit in the league. Lennon Miller has been a fundamental part of that. He's also been called up to the Scotland under-21 squad along with Ewan Wilson. There's some good players that we need to be looking at. Now, I mean, Lennon Miller this season has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, in terms of his Premiership record in Scotland, 7 appearances, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 goal contributions in 7 games playing for Motherwell is fantastic. Played 100% their starting 11s, 97% of their minutes, and had almost a 50% goal. Seven goal contributions in 13 games, which is absolutely excellent from the young man. Now, Miller, not only has he got the goal scoring, the assisting, his passing range is excellent. He buys himself space and time brilliantly. He can beat a man. I mean, he looks a real quality player, but I honestly believe that now we're facing a situation whereby had we moved for him in the summer, we probably would have stood a chance of getting him for a reasonable price. Now that there is interest from down south, English clubs, Championship clubs, and some lower league, so lower end Premier League clubs are looking at Lennon Miller. I mean, this is, I think, going to price Rangers very much out of the market. The fact that the English clubs carry so much more financial, heavyweight financial power behind them. Even the EFL, who've got a major new television deal for the Championship. The Championship clubs are able to spend vast sums of money now on their teams, even keeping within PSR. The Premier League clubs also, generating massive income from TV deals, from alternative from alternative revenue streams. So they are very much, in a financial power play. So, I think if the interest is genuinely there from English clubs, Rangers are going to struggle to compete for someone like Lennon Miller. This could be another player that we've missed out on. Which is sad because I think, he could have been an excellent midfielder for Rangers. He could have been absolutely brilliant. I think put him alongside, Connor Barron, put him even into the 10 role. I think he would have been brilliant this season. But it does seem like it's one we have missed out on, which is a shame. And the scouting department do need to carry a portion of the blame for that. The other two, of course, I mentioned the other day, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, which is obviously Lyall Cameron of Dundee. You've seen the success, as much as we hate to see it, of Luke McCowan going across the city to the Green and Grey mob. He's done well over there. Lyall Cameron has been excellent for Dundee this season. Another young, up-and-coming, talented player. And again, someone that Rangers do, I think, need to take a long, hard look at, especially in January. And especially at the end of the season. I think his contract is up at the end of the season. So, it could be another Connor Barron-esque move for Mr. Lyall Cameron. I mean, the one name that has come up on multiple occasions, and especially given, you know, Kilmarnock's struggles this year, is David Watson. He's under contract. He's under contract till 2026, though, which, of course, you know, does, of course, raise that question of what fee would Kilmarnock want for the player. Watson, you know, again, another good, exciting young Scottish talent, another good quality footballer. So, you know, for me, again, this is someone we should definitely be considering and definitely be looking at. He's a player. He's a player. I mean, again, you bring him in, you put him alongside Connor Barron, or you put him in a midfield with Connor Barron. This is a top lad. And I mean, if you look at his performance record this season, given how much Killy have struggled, 7 appearances, 2 goals, 22% goal participation rate. He's played 1 game in the League Cup. He's played 1 game and had 1 goal in the Europa League. And he's had 4 appearances in the Conference League. So, you know, this is a guy who, you know, realistically, you know, has done well this season in a struggling Killy team. He's a good footballer. Again, this is someone that we as a team should be looking at. Now, look, I mean, preferably, yes, I would love to see the likes of Bailey Rice, Cole McKinnon, Paul Ncio, Archie Stevens, Leighton Grant, Finlay Curtis, Zach Lovelace, you know, Josh Gentles, those guys come through from the academy and make an impact. I genuinely, to this day, do not know why Bailey Rice is not getting an opportunity. I mean, I think, you know, is there a problem between him and the manager? Does the manager see something he doesn't like? I don't know. Although Philippe Clement does seem to have some very odd opinions on players, you know, given his fascination with Kieran Dowell. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, people like him should also be seen. I mean, especially when you go to Bailey. And Bailey, when he was at Motherwell, you know, before we brought him to our academy, was considered a better player than Lennon Miller. Yeah, Lennon's 18. He's gone from strength to strength. He's playing first-team football and he's looking great. And I know he's playing for Motherwell, so there's a lesser standard there. Easier to have a pathway to the first team, but he's broke through. He's kept his shirt. He's looked good. He's done well against Celtic. He's done well against us. You know, it's not like he's just doing well against the shit teams. So at the end of the day, this is a class talent, and Bailey Rice, I think, is a class talent. So quite why Bailey is not getting a chance, I would love to know. I'd love someone to press Philippe Clement on this in a press conference. I'd love someone from fan media to grow a pair of balls and actually push Philippe Clement on this Bailey Rice issue. But you know, this is where we're up to. So Johnny Yefeko's gone down to Exeter in England now. He's doing well down there by all accounts. So I think, you know, the lack of trust in the youth system at Rangers is quite frightening. But I do honestly believe that we should be looking at, you know, not just at our academy talent, but at others' talent, and looking at bringing in other players from other clubs, young, talented, promising players, Lyall Cameron, David Watson. I do think with Lennon Miller, that's a no-go now. I think he's going to be heading down south at the end of the season. So, you know, that's what we've missed out on. I said that is very sad. But there is players out there. I mean, you know, there's players as well, you know, we could be looking at taking in on loan as well. Scottish talent. Ben Doak at Liverpool. You know, a good young Scottish player who, you know, realistically not going to get a game there. You know, you look at the players attacking in midfield areas. You know, they've got so much talent there. So realistically, is Ben Doak going to get a game? He's someone we should be looking at. Owen Beck, another one we should be looking at. You know, these are players, good talent that we should be looking at. Owen Beck, I know he's not Scottish, but so there we go. So look, let's you know, let's have a look at some of these players, and you know, but it's good that Coppen has said that we are considering Scottish talent, and these are some of the players that I believe that we should be considering going forward. The likes of Cameron, Watson, and Miller, and there's others. You know, there's other talent within the league that we should be looking at. I think obviously the loss of Mayo as well to you know, not Perry Mayo, but the actual Mayo, Lewis Mayo to Killy, I think was a big mistake as well. I think he's done well there, and you know, would have been a good no-nonsense defender. I mean, perhaps not a starter, but a decent backup for us. So look, I do think going forward, Rangers do need to, you know, hopefully fulfil this promise of also looking at Scottish talent, but also looking at developing that clear pathway between first team and the academy talent. Guys, let me know what you think of the stories we've covered in today's Sunday supplement. Thank you so much for watching. Please smash the like, smash the sub, ring the bell, drop a comment, share, do all that good stuff, that good YouTube stuff. Channel to keep on growing. Please obviously become a member as well. Just 99p, guys, a month. I mean, that's less than a cup of McDonald's coffee. I mean, not even decent coffee. It's decent. It's all right coffee. I like McDonald's coffee better than Costa and Starbucks, but you know, it's cheap. Anyway, 99p, guys. Sign yourselves up. Thank you for watching.